welcome to the first podcast episode of this channel. My name is Nombuso and this is my name Aid. So let's just get into it. Just a few disclaimers before I start. I'll obviously be inserting pictures and videos of all of these colorful garments that I have with me. For now, my channel is focused on crochet, knitting and sewing, but my sewing machine is broken, so for a good part of these podcast episodes, it's going to be me showcasing my crocheting and knitting, and more knitting is coming right now. For episode 1, it is more crochet centric, but there is some knitting WIPS that I have recently started, which are very exciting. So yeah, without any further rambling, let's get into it. So first garment is this one. So this is old, right? It's not from this year, but I showed it because I just want to link it to a WIP that is inspired by this. So I'll obviously be inserting clips. When it comes to yarn specifications and crochet hooks and stuff, if I don't mention it, I will put it in like the video in my captions, but I will mention and put it in the video too, like in the captions too, so don't worry about that. Some of this yarn is old and has been discontinued. Some of it was like yarn on sale that was on sale because it was going to be discontinued, so I can't link some of it, but for the most part, most of my projects are 100% acrylic. It's affordable, it's readily available. So yeah, let me just briefly talk about this. But it has elastic on the waistband, so it actually stays up, because when I made it, it was falling down when I was trying to wear it, and it was kind of straining the straps. And at that, this is inspired by Savannah Stitches on Instagram. I saw her flower overalls on Pinterest actually. So next up is my Raglan tops. Let's get into it. Top number 1, this one. This was my first Raglan top. This was my first Raglan anything actually, in crochet and knitting. And as you can see, it's big, it's very oversized, because I was still trying to figure out my pattern, because I'm planning on making a lot more. At that time I was planning on making a lot more, and I did, and I'm still planning on making a lot more, because I am trying to figure out a good pattern for this that I can use for the rest of my life, because I don't think you can have too many tops, especially Raglan striped tops. The reason I made it striped is because it gets boring when you're using one color, and at that time I had more of this pink than I did of this red. If I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have used this pink. The pink is fine. The problem is that this color has been discontinued, and I love this color. This is Kartopu Snowball Pool Skein in the color Sugar Pink, and it's been discontinued because they changed the line from Snowball Pool Skein to Snowball Premium, and the Sugar Pink that's supposed to correspond with this does not correspond. You'll see it later in one of my WIPs. It's darker, it's not the same. Yeah. So yeah. I didn't block these or anything. I just washed them in the washing machine. I know it's 100% acrylic, you're not supposed to put it in the machine. I don't have time for hand washing, I'm sorry. So I just put it in the wool setting, and it's very gentle. Yeah. And number 2 is this one. You see, you can see the seam. I can see the seam on my monitor somewhere. There's a seam going. The new ones don't have a seam. But yeah, this one I used. I think if you notice that there seems to be some kind of a pattern with the stripes. Let me turn around, hide the seam. There seems to be some kind of pattern with the stripes, but there wasn't any pattern. I just used, because like I was using scrap yarn for this in a way, I had more of the yellow, so I used more of the yellow than I did of this banana, because I was saving this banana for something else, which I'll also show. This yarn, this yellow one, is discontinued, so I can't even link it. I still have it though, but I think this is a worsted weight yarn, and this is a DK weight. The other two are with DK. This is discontinued. This still exists, and this is... Does it still exist? No, it doesn't. Well, in my yarn shop, it's still there, but it's from a discontinued line too. This is from the Kartopu Snowball Pool Skein that I was talking about. But the new Snowball Premium matches this, so... Yeah, I think... Okay, next. Okay, actually, let me do this one, because it's sitting here on the side because I just wore it on Sunday to church. So... This one, it needs to get washed. This one. So the next few Raglan tops I made all at the same time. Now when I say all at the same time, I mean all at the same time. I was literally working on them in this living room at the same time. I was sitting on the floor, and I would do 4 rows of like 1. and do 4 rows of the next one, 4 rows of the next one, because I wanted to crank these out quickly, and I did. They took me like a week to make like 5. So if you get on your Zoom, which means like if you work hard on these, you can get this done in a day. But I didn't block this too. I just put glue on the ends instead of like weaving them in and like trying to make sure they don't unravel. That's what I actually usually do when I'm lazy. I just put like fabric glue on the knots and I cut them up, and it never unravels. It will never go anywhere. This is using Charity DK, and both of them are Charity DK, still a 6mm crochet hook. Okay, this one. On to the next one. Oh, I actually forgot to talk about this, but this is not made by me. I wish it was. I really want to make a zipper cardigan thing or zipper jumper thing. This is not made by me, but this is made by me. I sewed these I think 2 years ago, back when my machine was still working. Now number whatever I forgot the count. I literally lost count. This is another one. There's a theme. Okay, but these ones I was getting a bit more sophisticated. There was like a pattern. It's 4 per color. It starts with the dark, and then when we get to where is this? When we get to this color, so when we repeat the stripes twice, we split for sleeves. I had changed from chaining 70 something to chaining 68. I know that it's 68 because I think I need to go down chains again, just because with this pattern, as I said, I'm still developing this pattern for myself. I think I'm gonna sell it, but probably will just like put it out there and put it as a video tutorial or whatever. It bunches up here, and because now I'm taking knitting a bit more seriously, I was like, maybe this needs some short row shaping. I don't know, but it also needs to be like, okay, we have no seam. There is a seam, but you can't see it, but it's there. Also, I didn't block these. I just washed it and started wearing them because I finished them around around March. So yeah. Next one. Oh, I love this one. I think this might, okay, actually all of them are I was about to say this might be my most worn, but no, it's the pastel one, and then all of them after that. Like there's no one that I wear. Oh, you see, you can see the seam. It's right here, but it's hidden because it's at the back and it's by the shoulder. Raglan increases. Okay, this one, same 6mm crochet hook. I'm using Charity yarn, and I think this is aqua. I actually don't remember the colors. Let me not even start. Same thing. Still putting pictures, still removing. This is actually going faster than I thought it would, which is great because then I don't need to edit it. This one, oh, I love this one because it's just so nice and light and bright. In another world, I would make matching skirts for all of these, matching bottoms, let's put it that way. It'll probably be skirts because pants are just a bit more involved that I'm trying to do right now. They're just crochet pants, knit pants, sewed pants. There's just a lot that goes on with it. So, but in another world, I would make matching bottoms for these, maybe shorts or skirts. And I like long skirts, so long skirts. Well, that's another world though, because these are a lot of tops to try and match, and some of the colors are discontinued too, so you know that would not work out well. But let's talk about this one. Still 6mm crochet hook, same pattern. This is a weight. This yellow, light yellow, is a weight 3 DK. This is a weight 4. Definitely a weight 4. This is a discounted yarn to the point where when I bought it, the yarn shop didn't even have a name for it. They call all their like discounted yarns basket yarn, and this was that. It was just basket yarn, and I had to just, it's sparkly, it's 100% acrylic. Well, it's actually not 100% acrylic, but it has some lurex shiny stuff to it, so probably like 6% lurex, but it's acrylic base. And yeah, I love this yarn. Had I known at that time, I would have bought like, because it was a special of 5 for 100 rand. 100 rand. I'm in South Africa. Yeah, and there was a lot of them, and when I came back they were all gone. I was so devastated. Had I known, I would have bought like 3 packs, okay, or 4 or 5, because this yarn is beautiful. Use this yarn for this blanket, and then when I went back it was discontinued, so I had to kind of chop and change with the yarn. But there's something that I wanted to say about these raglans, and then I forgot about it. But yeah, same procedure, didn't block it, I just washed it after the fabric glue dried on the knots. And this one doesn't bunch as much. I think it's because this yarn is thicker, but it still bunches. But yeah, put pictures, editing me will put pictures and videos and stuff. I also cranked this one the same time, like all of these were the same time except for this pastel one. So all of the ones that I just showed that kind of have this proper pattern were all done at the same time. I had 5 of them laying on the table over there for the glue to dry, because I was like, I want to finish these tops now. And I think at that time it was because I made a second one of these for my aunt, and that felt like it took forever because I was using a 5mm crochet hook, and I was like, no, these need to be like quick so I can finish them. Oh, my panel is about to fall off. Okay, let's go. This one. This is a fave. I'm sorry. Like, if it were up to me, I'd make a dress in this. But as you can see, this color is like a theme in my life. But okay, let's get into it. This one was the first one that I made before I made those ones. So it has a seam. You can see it running diagonally through the top. And yeah. So the whole thing was rainbow. Start with the pink, orange, yellow, a mint green, a blue, purple, and then you repeat the pattern and you're done. Yeah, this was all charity yarn, 100% acrylic, DK weight, using a 5mm crochet hook. So I used a 5 for this because I had forgotten that when I first made the first 2 that I showed, the red and yellow one, I used a 6. So I was like, oh wait, I probably used the 5 because I always use a 5. It's like my go-to. And I made this and it was taking forever, and I was confused, like, why is it taking so long? It was because I was using a 5 and the other ones I was using a 6. So yeah, but this is beautiful. Like, I'll put pictures and videos. Obviously I've worn this so many times, like so many times. I've worn all of them so many times that I can't even count where and when I've worn them. Let's get into this. Right, still with the pastel rainbow theme. The skirt, it's a very long, okay, I can't even stand and show you because it's very long, but I will like pip in some clips of it. This skirt is a finished object that's not finished, so I still need to put in the elastic here. So I need to make 4 more rows of pink and then put in elastic, because when I wear this, right, I crocheted a waistband for it, like some tie that just like cinches everything together and holds it up. When I wear it, and when I actually first wore this, I went to church, but when I first wore this, I wore it and it fell off, like it fell right off because it's so heavy. It fell right off, and I was like, we literally had to leave. Not like at that time, I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? This is my outfit, I'm not changing. And then I just took a crochet hook and the yarn, this pink yarn, which is also this pink yarn right here, and I crocheted a long chain on the way to church. When I got to church, I just like weaved it in using the crochet hook, tied it up, wore it, and I was done. I think I'll insert a clip of how I wore it that time. I wore both of the matching set together. It actually looks so nice with but I wore the matching set together, and then I wore a yellow jacket because I actually don't have a matching cardigan for this, which I am planning on making, but later, way later. I keep looking to the side because I'm looking at the monitor, just to put that out there if that's kind of disorientating. But let's talk about this because this is so sick and twisted. But I crocheted this using the same yarn as all of these. Charity, bought 6 balls because it's 6 different colors. I used a 4mm crochet hook, and my crochet hooks are not ergonomic because the ergonomic hooks are too short especially in the crochet style that I crochet in. You'll see in the coming videos how I crochet. It's not a weird way, but I crochet very long. Like I pull it very, I don't know how to explain this, but the ergonomic hooks are just too short, the metal part, and then the handle part just takes up too much space. So I don't have that. I was using like a thin metal hook. This is crocheted in panels just because of the stripes, crocheting it in the round. I hadn't figured out how to do that yet, and I just wasn't about to do that on the skirt, especially with the 4mm crochet hook. And it has 2 slits on the sides. The slits are there because I got lazy to carry on like seaming it, because the way that I seamed it is right. I'll have to take a closer clip of this and like pip it in, but each seam is a different color. Like I had to seam it and match the color of the stripes. Otherwise you would have been able to see, if I did it like all in pink, you would have been able to see the pink in the seam. So, and I seamed it using a single crochet and just seamed it together and change colors every 3 stitches instead of 2, because the stripes are 2. I did 2 stripes here. I did 2 row stripes, I mean, because I thought I was gonna get bored with doing 4 rows, like the top that matches this, and I was right. I was gonna get bored because this took such a long time. So I'm a sewer, right? I first learned how to knit, then I learned how to crochet, then I learned how to sew. But I'm a sewer, and I was using like sewing techniques. I was like, okay, so when you sew, especially like pants, you usually make the back panel shorter. This thing is disorienting me. Usually make the back panel bigger than the front to accommodate for like your butt, because it's like round and curved. So I was like, okay, let me do that. So I made the back shorter, the back, which is this, bigger than the front. And then when I seamed it together, after, I think this took me a week, and it was the first time. I've been crocheting for a very long time, for more than 11 years now, and it was the first time in my life where I was crocheting something and my hands gave up. Like, they didn't even pain, they gave up. I literally tried to hold the hook and my hands started shaking. I started shaking and I was like, okay, I think I need to take a break. I took like a 2-day break, came back, did this, and I cranked it out to the point where my wrist started paining again, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't like shaking and let's give up. So would I make another one of these with the 4mm? No. With the 5/6 maybe, but I liked the 4. I did try out the different hooks, obviously. I like the 4 because it's a bit tighter, like it's a bit closer together than a 5, and then a 6 was just too big. But in hindsight, I could use a 5 or maybe a 4.5, but a 5 could work for this. Yeah, and I ended up, so I made the back panel bigger than the front panel, and I ended up using the intended back panel for the front panel because I like that it was bigger in the front, so the seam of this isn't like to the side where people can see, but it's almost to the side at the back, so you just see like the skirt, and then the slits are at the bottom. Obviously there will be clips and stuff moving about as I speak. So yeah, and then let's talk ends, because this, I'll put a clip of that. This was a motherload of weaving ends. At first I was on my Zoom, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this professionally and I'm gonna do it properly. So I weaved in each end properly, like all the way, especially on this side. And then when I got to the other side, I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I put glue on the knot, I cut and I cut close to the knot, and that was it. Like, that was as much as I could do. I think at this point here I was still putting glue and weaving in the end, then cutting. When I got to the side, I wasn't even weaving in the ends, I was just putting glue and cutting the knot, cutting close to the knot when the glue had dried, because I know the glue has never failed me. The glue has never ever failed me. For the inside where I was seaming with the ends, I just weaved in that as I went and cut it close to, like, and cut it wherever I saw fit. But this is the skirt. I love the skirt. I'm telling you, when I'm wearing this set, it's such a showstopper because it's crochet, right? And crochet is handmade. There's no crochet machine. So everybody and their mama knows that I handmade this and I worked. And then they start asking, can you make it for me? And then I have to say no, because no. Alright, let's get into the scarf quickly, because the scarf has a story, but it's not a long story. The scarf is beautiful. This is actually for my aunt. Now I made it as a tester because in my head I wanted to make a gingham wrap skirt, and I am making it, but we've reached a stalemate with that. But yeah, I made this. I used Tony from TL Yarn Crafts pattern on how to make gingham as you go, like join as you go, instead of weaving in and instead of like sewing on panels or squares. The ends are not weaved in, so this is another finished whip. It's like a finished unfinished project. But yeah, this is for my aunt. So what happened is she usually takes me to go yarn shopping, and when I asked her to go buy yarn for me, because I knew if I went I would spend more than I should, she bought some yarn for herself, and she was like, here's the yarn, make a scarf and a beanie for me. I actually don't have the beanie here with me because it's like she has it, and I'll show pictures of it when I get to that part. And then she also bought yarn in this color, in the Kartopu Snowball pool skein that's been discontinued. Can't tell how many times I've said discontinued in this video. This is also the discontinued yarn, and then this is just Kartopu Snowball Premium in off-white. But yeah, so I decided that I'm going to give this to my aunt. So the way that I would wear this is as like an ear warmer, because my ears get really cold, especially in the night, especially because I don't sleep. Like, I'm literally recording this at, it's 10:05 now a.m. So yeah, but I decided that I'm going to give it to her. But the problem is, right, I need to give it to her after the ends have been weaved in, and I'm not doing that. I'm not weaving in ends. So it's either I give it to her and I find a way to mitigate this ends problem by maybe lining the back of it. I'm not doing that either. So I'm not going to give this to her anymore. That's what I'm going to do. I need to just make a scarf for her in this color, in the yarn that she already bought. She bought like 3 balls of this yarn. And I already have a plan of action for it. So I'm just going to, I think I'm going to use that as a filler project. You know when your like main whips are kind of annoying you and they're taking forever, and you need something that's going to be quick and give you some like dopamine. I'm going to use that scarf as that. So I'm going to make that scarf in that color. That's a future whip. Alright, so disclaimer, another one. I don't make things for people, which is why when my aunt bought that yarn, I was like, why didn't you ask me before you buy this yarn? Because I have so many projects right now, I can't be making a beanie and a scarf for you. And she was like, I don't care. I usually take you yarn shopping. This is your payment. She takes me there because like it's far from where I live, and sometimes she works near this, so she takes me there with her. But yeah, so in the spirit of not crocheting things or making things for people, even when I sew and knit, I don't make things for people. In the spirit of that, after I made that for my aunt, I was like, okay, let me make something for my mom too, because she's been hounding me too. So I was like, let me make something, and then I was like, no, actually, let me make 2 somethings so she can leave me for the rest of the year. She still hasn't gotten this for me because I live like 6 hours away from her. So this beanie this is my like go-to beanie pattern. It's from when I used to sell my crochet items. I don't have a business that sells it right now, but I am open to commissions if somebody wants to commission something. Yeah, but anyway, this is DK weight yarn. Like DK weight yarn is weight 3. Yeah, right. So weight 3. Using a 5mm crochet hook. Solid pattern, has never failed me. Always does what it needs to do. So yeah, that's that for my mommy. Matching scarf. So I said I'm gonna make a beanie for her because it was like winter. It's still dead winter in South Africa right now. It's like cold. This was before the cold front snowing thing that happened. So yeah, so this is the scarf. It's a bit thin, right? I actually noticed this after I tried to block it. It's a bit thin, in like width, but it's long. Okay, it's a long one. It's not as long as the, oh, it's long. It's not as long as the gingham one, the yellow one, but it's long. It's long. And the reason that it's thin is because I blocked it, right? But this is 100% acrylic, charity DK yarn in this color. It's a pink. I think it's literally called pink. And I blocked it with water like a crazy person. And I forgot that you need to steam this. So I still need to steam block it. We do have a steamer around here in this house somewhere, so I'm going to steam block it. But before we had the steamer, I used to use my sewing iron. I'm going to use my sewing iron and steam it. That's that. Beanie number 2. So these beanies are new. Like these beanies, I made them when this project was frustrating me. And I was like, let me just crank out something. And I think the first one that I cranked out was this one. And then after that, nobody could hold me. I was just cranking out beanies for like a whole week straight. This one, same pattern as the previous pink one for my mom. This one is for me. It's brown, it's a chocolate brown, charity, DK weight, 5mm crochet hook. Yep. And when it comes to the end, because it's one end, I made it so there's like one end to sort of weave in. I put glue and I cut it. Fabric glue will never fail you. If you're a beginner and you're like, what am I going to do with these knots? Especially if your knots are like unraveling when you wash it in the machine or hand wash it. Fabric glue. Next, this one. Oh, this is the softest yarn ever. This is not 100% acrylic. Finally, something that's not acrylic. But this is... Are they going to wake up in this house? This is a... I think it's yarn art. I'll put the name. I forgot the real name, but it's yarn art. I know that it's called Allegro. The line is called Allegro, and this color is called Lemon, which is such a weird color. It's basically pastel rainbow. That's what it is. As you can see, it's a theme. I love pastel rainbow. I used a 5mm crochet hook, same pattern as the previous ones, and it's a wool. It has wool. I think it has like 51% wool. It has some acrylic. It has some polyamide. Yeah, something like that. But it's so soft. It pills, but not too much. I actually don't really care about pilling. I think it's because I don't really care about pilling. You can like scratch that off or like shave it off with a shaver thingy. Next one. This is similar to this one. Mint green, still in the pastel color theme. It's this color, this green right here. And for this one, the beanie craze was kind of it being away, so I said, no man, I still want to make a beanie, but I still want to make a beanie, but I don't want it to be as long. I don't want it to take as long as the other ones. So with this one, I double stranded the yarn. I used a 6.5 or a 6mm crochet hook, and I cranked this out in a day. And a day is long too, like it was a few hours and this was done. Yeah, same with this one that I'm wearing. This cream one, I made it from, so I asked my aunt to get some yarn for me for this blanket actually, which is this white, and she got the wrong color. She got this cream color. This is off-white, this is cream. So I just decided to use this to make a beanie, and it was perfect. It was soft. This is Kartopu Snowball Premium. Very soft. Gets the job done. Quick. Yes. I have 2 other beanies. Yeah, 2 other beanies. I made a green one for my aunt. And those are finished objects. I made a green one for my aunt. I made 2 green ones actually. I made a green one in velvet yarn. I think I have a clip of that. It was for me, but then she stole it from me. Like I made it for myself and then she stole it from me, so I just let her have it. And I think letting her have that kind of made her think that she can like request another beanie, which she could because I made that one for her. That's another green one. It's a more neon-y, not neon-y, but it's a very weird green. Apparently it's an on-trend green or whatever. That's also Kartopu Snowball. Pool skein, discontinued. Yeah, she bought it because it was getting discontinued, and she knows how to crochet, so I thought when she bought it she was gonna get it on like her crochet game and start crocheting for herself. Nope, she bought it for me. Those 2, I'll insert clips of that. the last finished object that I have is also from my aunt. I made her the rainbow pastel top. I'll insert a picture. She has like one picture in it. I made her a top that matches mine. She bought the yarn herself for that. What she usually does is she buys the yarn for herself and then she's like, the labor is for free, which is okay. Yeah, that's about it with my finished object. No, it's not. What am I talking about? Hello. That's about it with like garments. This is a decorative piece. So I made this, right, because I wanted to test out how the strawberry thing is. I made this as a test. This is literally a test because even the back, it's not the same as also focus. Is it gonna focus? Yeah, the back is also a test. So I saw this on Pinterest. I'll put a clip of the pillow that I saw. I saw this on Pinterest. It's a cushion that I saw, right? And then the cushion has a pattern, and the pattern, I couldn't afford that. Like at that time, I was like, no, dollars. No, when you do the conversions, I was like, I think at that time the dollar to the rand was like 20 rand. I was like, oh no, it was a lot. So nope. So I was like, let me figure this out. There's a lot of ladies on YouTube who have videos of like strawberry patterns, but what I realized is that the reason the seller on Etsy has a pattern is because her pattern is different from the ones that you see on YouTube. Her pattern kind of has like a pointy, I'll have a comparison picture, has a pointy strawberry. It's just, her pattern just looks better. That's why it's paid for, because it's better. But this was great. Like, I like the look. This, I will never make this again. Like, I will never, and I am so glad actually that I didn't buy the pattern because I would have been so frustrated. This takes forever. It takes so long. It is like the white like solid lines are quick. You just crochet that quickly. I can crochet fast. I've been crocheting for a long time. When you get to the strawberries, the color changing, it's so frustrating. I hate color changing. Okay, I hate color changing because color changing means weaving in ends, and the ends on this, I put a clip, but I'll just show you. These are the ends. These are the ends. They've not been weaved in, and I didn't carry them through because if you carry your ends through using half double crochet and it's white and you're carrying through red and green, it's gonna be visible all the way over. It's gonna be horrible. It's gonna look horrible. Like, I'm sorry, no matter what you say. To me, I don't like that look. So I didn't carry the ends. I just cut them and then weave them in. I didn't tie. I didn't put glue. I was like, I'm not dealing with these ends because there's a lot of them, as you can see from the clip. Yeah, so I put a zipper. I hand sewed the zipper, and my hand sewing is so rough, hey, because it literally snapped. And this is a decorative pillow. It's not even a useful, like, I don't sleep on it or anything. I don't cuddle with it. It just sits on my bed and it looks cute. I insert clips of it on a bed, but it's on my bed because the lighting in my room, there's no lighting, so I couldn't take pictures, nice pictures of that. The back, let's talk about the back. So the back is knitted. I double stranded, it wasn't this yarn, but it was a Lollipop twinkle yarn. It's acrylic with some lurex in it. I double stranded that, used a 7mm crochet 7mm knitting needle, and yeah. So the reason that I made this and I made the strawberries like this is because I wanted to make that old viral strawberry cardigan thing. I'll put a picture of it. And after making this and practicing, I was like, nope, I'm not doing that. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. The strawberries look weird compared to the original picture. Like hers, I figured out what she did, but it was too late for me to try and experiment. I was like, nope. So yeah. Yeah, the strawberries kind of look weird. My sister says it kind of gives her the heebie-jeebies, the way that they are. Like, they look very, I don't know, they look like they're going to attack you. That's what she said, wasn't me. So yeah, I don't like it. But I do like this white, and I am going to make a white cardigan because I need a white cardigan. A cropped one too. A cropped white cardigan. Yeah, so I did that and I sewed on the strawberries. I used, I think it's Chinda DIY's pattern, or video or tutorial to make the strawberries, and I sewed them in using like sewing thread instead of using like yarn, because the yarn kind of smushed the strawberries because it's so thick, but the thread was just seamless going in and out. Hand sewed that was horrible. I hate hand sewing. I've said that I think thrice now in this video, and it was just a horrible experience. I made this big one because I thought maybe they don't look nice because they're small. Maybe if I make it bigger, nope, making it bigger didn't help. So yeah, that's it. It has a zipper. I've washed this, so it's a bit rough, but it's okay. It's fine. Oh, let me go back to the original setting. I like this. I want to make another crochet cushion, but not in strawberry. I think my pile is gonna fall. Okay, whatever. Alright, my final finished object. I recently finished this. I finished this like last week. This is a project bag, and it is a tote bag that I made as part of the crochet club that I'm part of, that I actually started. Yeah, we have an online crochet club. I'll put a link to the people who want to join. It's like a WhatsApp group, and then we like do it via Google Meet, but it's using CATs, Central African time. So if you're like from far from that time zone, I don't think you're going to be able to join effectively, because we do this at 5 or 6 p.m. where I am. And yeah, so yeah, this is patchwork with patch. It's like crocheted in patches, because we have a beginner in our club, and that beginner is my sister. And in order for her to effectively learn the stitches, it was better to make her repeat like squares. So we made 9 squares of single crochet right here, another 9 squares of half double. We were supposed to make 6 6 6, so there's 9 9 9, and it's 18. We were supposed to make 6 6 6 single, 6 half double, 6 double, but she was like, she actually doesn't like the way that her half double looks, so can we just stop here, because if her half double crochet looks like this, her double crochet is going to be horrible too. So she was like, nope. Yeah, there's one whip that I forgot about, but it's fine. So yeah, this is it. It actually has a whip inside here. Let's just get into the whips. Let's get into the whips. First whip, let's go. It's this. You've seen it. It's viral on TikTok, on Insta, on Pinterest, on YouTube. It's one of those hexagon tops, but mine is not a hexagon top because I'm special. I'm joking. This is not a hexagon top. So I watched Amazingish Grace on YouTube. She made one of this. She made a commission of this, and she used a pattern. I'll put a picture of the pattern. She used a pattern by this crochet designer, and in the pattern she mentioned that it actually doesn't use a hexagon. It uses a granny square rectangle connected to a hexagon. And I was like, I actually like the look of that better, because the way that it looks, it makes the stripes like, let me try and put it together. It makes the stripes look better. You see, it makes the stripe like, I don't know, it just looks better compared to the hexagon, the viral hexagon one. So I was like, I can figure this out, man. It took me 4 tries. It took me 1 try to figure out how to connect the rectangle to the hexagon, but the problem was my rectangle was too long, and it's still too long, but when I started, it was gonna make the shirt like reach almost like halfway my hip by the time it was finished. So I had to frog, start over, make it shorter, frog, start over, make it shorter, frog, start over, make it shorter. I think to the point where I made it like 21, the rectangle 21 stitches long. It was still too long. I should have made it 9 stitches long, because you know with the rectangle, granny square rectangle, you chain multiples of 3 plus 3 plus 2 or something like that. Yeah, but yeah, so I should have made it like 9 or even 6, like made it like a short bit, because as you build, the rectangle builds up quickly, and I still have 10 more rows of this to go. So the reason it's a whip is I only have one side. The reason it's a whip is because, is this focused? It's a whip because I ran out of yarn. When I bought this yarn, I didn't buy it for the shirt. I bought it to test out this color because I wanted to make, I'll put a clip, I wanted to make this Barbie inspired outfit, this Barbie inspired cargo pants with this color. And yeah, I just wanted to test out the color and see if it's the color that I like. And this yarn is 100% cotton. Is it? No, it's 85% cotton and 15% polyester. It is a weight 3 yarn. I used a 4mm crochet hook. I used a 5mm crochet hook, and I bought this for 20 rand. It was 20 rand a ball. I bought 2 balls. I'm gonna need about 5 more balls. 3 of this color and 2 of this one right here. So, and I think that yarn was on like sale, because the original price is like 30 something rand, but it was 20 something rand. So maybe I won't get it on sale anymore, which will be so sad. But yeah, I do need to go to the yarn shop. So that is gonna be finished in time for spring, which is like late September, and like in my head, because early September in Joburg is cold. It's not spring yet. You will be cold. Let's go. WIP number 2. My first knitted whip. This is my first knitted Raglan sweater. This is the first time with this sweater. It's the first time I knitted in Raglan. It's the first time I did German short row shaping. Come on, it was the first time I split 4 knitted sleeves and body. First time I did a split hem thing. And it's cropped. It was supposed to be longer than this, but after I wore it, I was like, oh, it's actually nicer cropped. And then everybody else around me kind of convinced me to also make it cropped. And I actually like that I made it cropped, because less knitting for me. So as you can see, I have the sleeves to do. And the reason that it's not finished is because I ran out of yarn. And if you can notice, this actually matches this. These two match in color, but not weight, yarn weight. So this is a weight 3, lightweight DK. This is a weight 6, super bulky or bulky. I think weight 6 is bulky. I don't really use weights like that. I used a 7mm for the ribbing, a 7mm needle or needles. I keep wanting to say like crochet hook. I used 7mm needles for the ribbing and 8 for the body, and knitted it in the round. It was, the German short row shaping was so simple. Like when I was finished, I was like, is that it? Like, because like knitters always say like it's so daunting. I think it's just like a beginner, like not folk tale, like a beginner, I don't know, whatever that word is. English is not my mother. Yeah, this is still the same yarn brand. It's still Yarn Art. I think it's Yarn Art. I keep saying Yarn Art, but I know that it's Allegro in the color lemon. Still pastel rainbow theme. I love this yarn. The way I love this yarn so much, I love that it's super bulky or bulky too. That means it goes by quickly. Cause like as somebody who recently started taking knitting seriously, I need projects that are going to be quick. I don't need projects that are going to be slow. Well, I didn't, but now I'm doing them too, so it's okay. But I need projects that are going to be quick. So I'm planning to make this sweater, finish the sweater, and also make pants, matching pants, wide leg, semi-fitted ish, but like elastic waistband. I'm not doing any of those buttons and fly, especially when it comes to knitting and crochet. I just stick to an elastic band. But yeah, this is it. And this yarn is expensive. Well, it's expensive compared to the yarn that I use. This is also still the whole wool polyamide acrylic combo going on. And this yarn is expensive. It is 90 rand a ball. And the ball has about like 150 meters. So I was buying this yarn in like bits, because I need 5 balls. So far on here it's 4 balls. So 90 times 4, that is 360 rand just for a sweater. And I need 5. I think I need 5, but I'm gonna buy 6 just to be safe, because I don't want it to run out on me as I'm making the sleeves. So that's 6 balls. 9 times 6, 54. 540 rand. Yeah, so that's that. And for the pants, I know I'm gonna need about like 7-8 balls, because I am planning. Oh, my battery's running out. I am planning to make a long and wide leg, not too wide leg, just like a bit, just not like legging type, you know, like these pants that I'm wearing right here. So I am going to be buying that yarn in increments too, and it is going to be pants. So for me with pants, they're not really like, are these summer, are these winter, they're like, I'm going to wear them for the rest of the year. But these are woolly pants too, so they're definitely not Richards Bay summer, but they are maybe Joburg night summer. Yeah, that is my second whip. Okay, let's just talk about this one. This is a whip, right? This is the blanket that started it all. It is a tartan rainbow pastel blanket. I'll insert clips of what the tartan is supposed to look like. Like not what it's supposed to look like, but what I'm supposed to do, because I haven't seen this color combo tartan before. So yeah. Oh, actually, I do have like something that inspired me to make this. I think it's like a Pinterest thing, so I'll insert that. Okay. This is 170 centimeters by 210 centimeters. Very long, very big, beautiful blanket. Taking forever. I started this in March, or maybe February. And I stopped for a while, and then I carried on, because the way that the tartan works is you do this mesh and then you weave in I'm trying to show what color that's actually, yeah, you can see it on the purple. You weave in these like strings at the bottom, yeah, and you weave it in like in a pattern. So you basically copy this pattern that you made here, and you, because you made this way, and then you copy it this way so that it can like give you the tartan square thing. So what took forever was the mesh, right? The mesh took forever because I made it big. I'm not going to make like a small blanket. I don't do baby blankets like that, or like lap blankets. I want a blanket. And this was like, I want this to go on my bed, because most of my duvet covers and like my comforters are kind of pastel, so it was gonna match. Is it pastel or pastel? Pastel. Kind of pastel, so it's gonna match. The mesh took a very long time. I ran out of this yarn, which is the discounted basket sparkly yarn, so I had to substitute that with a Lollipop twinkle yarn. The Lollipop twinkle yarn is not the same as this one, like in terms of weight. This discounted yarn is like a weight 4, and the Lollipop is a weight 3. You can't really tell because I still had a few balls, so I found ways to kind of maneuver it and kind of make sure that I'm like marling it or whatever. I don't know the technical term, but yeah. So I finished the grid and I was like, yes, I'm about to finish it. It's gonna take a week for me to weave in everything, and then after that I'm gonna do the border. It still needs a border because it has like this on the side. It's like after that I'm gonna do the border, then I'm gonna be done. In 2 weeks I'm gonna be finished with this blanket. That was in April. We're now in July, going to August. So the problem was these little threads that I need to make. I have them next to me. I have them in this little plastic bag, because this is the whip bag for this blanket, because this blanket is so big. So this is the plastic. You can see they're all like little bollikies, all little balls. Bollikies is like tiny balls. And yeah, it took forever to measure those balls. I counted, I have to make 38 balls for the white, because it's the most color. And then I have to make 12 balls for each of these colors. So 12 times 6 is 60. Nope, it's 72. Is it? It's 72, yes. And then 38 of this. That's a lot of balls. I made the 72. I made it. I was finished with that. And then the mammoth right now is the 38. I think I've made like 18 of the 38. So I still have like 20 more to go. Or I've made like 8 of the 38. So that's what's been hindering me. And then the weaving in is going to take a long time. I kind of employed my sister to help me with like these five these five, and it was so much, and it was two of us, and she was just helping me because she was bored. But she's not bored now because she has school, so I don't have help. I'm gonna be doing this by myself. This is gonna take a while. And at first I was in a rush to finish this because I was like, oh, I want to use it throughout winter. But then I realized I use a blanket throughout the whole year because I don't sleep inside the sheets. I sleep on top of the comforter. So I'm going to be using this for the rest of my life. So there's no rush, right? There's no need for me to like try and put pressure on myself. So I'm taking this really slow. But I am going to get to a point where I'm going to get fed up with looking at it being unfinished. And I'm going to finish it. So when we get to that point, it will be featured in the podcast episode. But I'm showing it now because I'm not going to show it again. Because it's going to be featured in all the podcast episodes until I get to the moment where I'm like, let me just do this and finish it. And that's going to take just a few months. So let me put it back where it was, because it was a very nice background. Hey, it's not sitting as it was anymore, but it's still sitting. When it comes to the border of this, I'm going to use the envelope border that is used in mosaic crocheting, or a pancake border. I recently heard about a pancake border. Yeah, but I think I'm going to use an envelope one because I saw how that's done. So that is that with that whip. Whip number, I don't know at this point, is this. This used to be a blanket. I'll insert a clip of what it looked like as a blanket. It was a whip that was a blanket. And then I was like, I'm not going to finish this blanket anymore. So let me just unravel this and actually put some great use to this beautiful yarn. This is also 100% acrylic. All of this is 100% acrylic except for this lurex thing here. And I used a 5mm crochet hook for the mesh. Yep. Alright. Yeah, this lovely rainbow variegated yarn. It's like rainbow stripes, then it is like rainbow mesh. You know that meshy variegated was like in blocks like this? Not this. This is like more stripy. So I'm using this to make these little Starburst balls. Not me with the earphones. I'm using this to make these Starburst balls, and these are gonna turn into squares. They're gonna turn into squares. The squares are gonna they're gonna look like this. They're gonna have gray on the. So I did a practice swatch of making it like the whole rainbow, and I realized that that's gonna finish my rainbow, and I only have one board of this, and this was like an old yarn that I bought. It's still in stock. It's 100% acrylic. It's by Kismet. 67 blankets yarn. It is in the color lemon too. So it's such a coincidence when I saw it in the shop. It's in the color lemon. The brand calls it lemon, but my yarn shop calls it yellow, which is weird. So yeah, I made these two, and I like the gray because it doesn't finish this up. This is a 300-gram ball, and it is 95 rand a ball. So the gray is also a 300-gram ball, and it's also. No, this is not 95 rand. This is 130 rand because it's variegated. The solid colors are 95 rand. So I was like, oh, I don't really have it in my yarn budget right now to buy another ball of this. So let me not like use it up. And when I think I made 2 of these. Like when I was envisioning what I'm gonna make, I just felt like it was gonna be too colorful with everything. So went with this. So I'm using the gray. I think it's a school gray. I hate school gray because let me tell you why I hate school gray. This is the cream. Let me tell you why I hate school gray. I hate school gray because I used school gray so much when I was selling crocheted items. I made so many school gray beanies. That school gray I feel like it just does this to me. So I don't really like using school gray, but that was there. So yeah, these are the balls. So they're gonna be in the same style as the overalls or jumper that I showed. I'll put a picture back so you can see what I'm talking about. They're gonna be in the same, like they're the same design. Like I was inspired by my design this time because my design is different from Savannah Stitches. And yeah, but I'm going to make it into a dress instead of a skirt, instead of shorts, like an overalls, instead of overalls, because I wanted a dress, like one of those cute like dresses like that. But also, if I make it into a dress, I don't need to sew an elastic, so to hold it up. I don't need to do that. I can just make it into a dress. So yeah, that's that. That's gonna be the next video on this channel, so stay tuned for that. It's not gonna be a tutorial per se, even though I am gonna teach you what I'm doing. I don't know how to explain this, but you'll get it when you see it. So after this podcast episode, that's gonna be the next video of the dress, and that is gonna be in time for late summer for the people who are in summer in the northern hemisphere, and for late winter and early spring for the people that are on this side of town. Well, August is actually not spring, it's still winter, but you can save it up for winter. Let me get the next one. Okay, I have this and this. This is a backpack that I bought back when I was still in uni in 2018? 18, yeah, 18. Okay, let's start with this one because we're here already. Can I just get it to look proper? I didn't put in any, oh my gosh, all the people who didn't, like, why didn't you put any stoppers? And I actually have stoppers now. I just didn't put them. I just usually just do this and just freestyle. So what is this? These are pants. This is the front with this big hole, and these are pants. So let's talk pattern. I did not use a pattern for this. I made it using some inspo and stuff, and the inspo was wide leg pants. I am in love with wide leg pants. I have these knitted, I have like 4 pairs of these knitted wide leg pants. It's the same pants in different colors from Mr. Price, the way that I'm so obsessed with them. So I had those and I wanted to make this. And also this is practice for some other pants that I want to make in the future. I'll put a clip up, I'll put a picture. It's a Pinterest inspired picture. I think they're from Style Cheats, and these like heart pink thing going on. Yeah, so so I want to knit those. At first I thought I was going to crochet them. I don't like the way the crochet looks, because I did try to make pants with that, then I just turned them into shorts. So yeah, so I'm practicing for that motherload of a project. But here it is. When it comes to how many stitches I had to cast on, I did use a pattern, and then that pattern ended up just messing me up. It was a free pattern by, I think it's Drops or Pearl Soho. I'll put a picture of the pattern and link it if you want to make it. Yeah, so why did I do stripes? Okay, wait, no. Oh, I was about to say I made a mistake, but I put some German short row shaping, so the stripes, the 2 stripes are a bit bigger. My battery's about to die. Okay, let me go quickly. Okay, so yeah, I made this. I'll put a clip. I made this and I'll talk over the clip. I made this. I cast it on 198 stitches. I am a 44-inch, 111 centimeter hip. I have big hips. And I cast it on 198 because according to the pattern, when you finish the increases, that's how many according to the size that I would make if I was using that pattern. And it was horrible. It looked so frumpy. And I worked on this for like 3 days straight, and I almost gave up on it. And then I showed it to my sister and my 2 sisters and my brother. They all laughed at me. My brother even said the pants are fine because it's something I'd wear anyway, which is it was so insulting, but it was funny. So yeah, as you can see, the pants are huge. They're just doing the most and they shouldn't be. So what I did is I unraveled it. I had 3 choices actually. Complete the pants as it is, make them long, wear them out, doesn't matter. Number 2, make them shorts, wear them as pajama pants. Number 3 is frog. So I frogged from here. I frogged basically the entire pants. I frocked from this color right here, this white, and I started decreasing every single stripe. So I first stripe I decreased 12 stitches, and then I decreased 14, then I like did some math in order to get to a stitch count that's gonna fit my waist, which was 162. I decreased 8, and then I did some German short row shaping for the back, because the way that the pants were sitting, they were sitting a bit weird in the front, and I think it's because they didn't have any German short row shaping in the beginning. I didn't put any in the beginning because I was making like wide, loose fitting pants. I was like, oh, I don't need German short row shaping. No, you do. So I did that for the 2 stripes in the middle right here. And yeah, so why stripes? The reason that I made it in stripes is because I bought this darker pink. This is the sugar pink in Snowball Premium that's supposed to match the sugar pink in Snowball Poolscape. It doesn't match. This color right here, the next pink, matches a bit more. And this is not Snowball Kartopu. This is Lollipop DK Weight. And then this is Charity DK Weight. This is Kartopu Snowball Premium Off-White. So I just decided to do stripes. So the way that these pants are going to be held up is I'm going to put elastic on the top, so it's going to have an elastic waistband. In my hair, they're going to be long pants. They're going to be long to the ankle, wide leg. But if I get despondent whilst making this, I'm going to make them shorts. And I'm just going to have to roll with the shorts. Because at least now I know, like at least at that point I'll know how many chains to cast on, and how many increases to do via the makeshift mat that I did. So these were the original pants, and these are the ones that I'm working on now. So these are the ones that are unraveled. This was going to be the waistband, and this is where we are. So as you can see, this was a bit of an overkill. So yeah, that is a whip. Okay, final 2 whips. Yeah, then the rest of the whips that I don't mention are hibernation whips, and I'll just mention them as finished objects when the time comes. This one. So it's the same as that scarf. It's still using the pattern by Tony from TL Yarn Crafts, and this is supposed to be a wrap skirt. And I've gotten to the point where I just don't want to work on it anymore. And I was thinking of maybe turning it into a sweater or something, but no, I'm gonna turn it into a wrap skirt. If I don't turn it into a wrap skirt, I'm gonna just make it a normal long skirt, because it's like mid-calf, almost ankle actually, a bit lower than mid-calf. And yeah, if I don't make it to wrap skirts, we're gonna end up there, just because the wrap skirt is proving to be a bit much. 2, 4, 6. I have 7 panels, and according to my calculations, I'm supposed to make 15 or 16 panels, actually 14 panels or something like that, in order to make it a wrap skirt. Each square is 3 inches long, and yeah. Actually, I don't know why I thought 3 inches would work. Oh no, I remember. Because my waist is 44, 3 inches times 11 is 33, and then plus a few more inches will make it a wrap skirt. We'll make it a bit so when you make a wrap skirt, because I saw right, when you make a wrap skirt, you make the waist the length of your hips, just so it like wraps properly. That's just like an easier thing instead of trying to measure and stuff and do some math. So yeah, the ends, I will not be weaving them in. I will line this, because I think lining will be quicker than weaving in, even if I hand sew it, which I won't be. Yeah, so this is it, and hopefully by next podcast episode this will be finished, because I would like to wear this while it's still cold. But it is a skirt, so I can still wear it in spring too, and summer too actually, and even which is 40 degree, 42, 43 degree weather, 43 degrees Celsius summer. Okay, I think this is my final whip. I hope so. Final whip is this plaid bucket hat that I am making as part of our crochet club. we chose this. Well, my sister chose this, who's a beginner, and then she tried to make it and she was like, no, she's not doing that. The color changing and the double crochet is just too much for her, especially changing while doing double crochet, and she's like, so that is that whip. That's all 100% acrylic. It is Charity and Kartopu. Yeah, it's Charity. It's actually Kartopu Snowball Premium, Snowball Pool Skein, which is discontinued. It's like old yarn that I had from back when I was making school gray beanies. So I was just like, let me just use it here. It's a plaid. We are using Passion Knits, Kelsey from Passion Knits pattern, and yeah, I modified the pattern, but I made it a bit bigger because her pattern is smaller. My battery's running out. I'm speaking the speed of light. I have one more. I thought I had it here with me, but I don't. But I do have one more whip, and it is shorts that I am going to finish when I do like a whip roundup video. So I'll just put like a picture of it if I have a picture. If I don't, you'll just see it when it comes to the roundup video. But that is it for this. My battery's on 5%. I'm using my phone. That is it for this episode. Please stay tuned for more that's coming on my channel. Thank you so much for staying tuned. If you like this video, please do subscribe. Comment on which project you like. Which one do you want me to maybe do a tutorial for? And like this video. Thank you so much for joining me for this.